Hello everyone, it is late morning on the 28th of March 2024. Had to work the last couple of days and some this morning. Supposed to rain today, all day, but I've been lucky it hasn't rained much yet. So what I've done right now is I've disconnected the rag joint from the steering shaft, the part nearest the steering gear. I couldn't get that other one loose, the one that on the other side of the rag joint, so I just disconnected the one, hoping that gives me enough room, and I think it will, to get that bearing sleeve on the upper bearing. So I'll show you where I'm at right now. That's my main goal today, is to just get that steering back together so I can take it for a test drive. I can drive it in the rain, even though I don't like the idea of driving it in the rain. I will, to get a test drive in. That's probably kind of hard to see, but I'm just talking about the rag joint, which everybody knows what that is, I think, that watches these videos. It's down there connected to the steering gear. I've taken the one bolt out. Actually, I was surprised it wasn't as tight as it should have been, where the one on the other side is incredibly tight. So either way, by disconnecting that and prying it away from the steering gear a little bit, I've got more play, and I think I might have enough. I'm trying not to completely disconnect it, so it'll be easier to get it back in place. So now I'm going to try and put this this rubber sleeve around that bearing and see if this will work. We're going to soon find out. All right, good news. I was able to get the sleeve on there. I had enough play pulling it toward me. I was able to get it on there. I'm not real happy with how that bearing feels. It feels like it needs to be removed and cleaned and repacked or greased up, but it works well enough. And since I'm planning on someday refurbishing that tilt column I have, I'm not going to put too much effort into this one, but I did want to take care of this because there was so much play. Still seems like there's a tiny bit of play left even after putting that bearing sleeve on there, but then I don't have it fully mounted yet, so now I got to go back into the hood and put the rag joint back all the way on the steering gear, and then I'll come back in here and finish up. All right, after a lot of struggling, I got the rag joint reconnected to the steering gear. That's tight. Now I'm back in here. I'm a little disappointed in this sleeve. It doesn't completely get rid of the play. There's still a little bit of play in there. I mean, it's a heck of a lot better than it was before, and I can certainly live with it. And yeah, I know my whole column is moving around, but just the shaft itself still moves noticeably inside the column. I don't like that, but that's just the way it is. Hopefully that sleeve is original spec. I'm assuming it probably is. So it fit around the bearing just fine. So big improvement, but I'm not going to worry too much more about it because eventually I will take care of rebuilding the tilt column and get that in here instead. And it's got a different design, I believe. I'm not sure about the top part there, but someday I'll look into that. All right, reassembly is moving along. It turned out the light bulb for my gear indicator, was burned out, so I replaced it, tested it. It works now. I've just finished pushing the switch cluster back in place, and I locked it in with those 3 Phillips screws. Checked my 4-way flashers, they work. I also lubricated the moving parts around here where the turn signal cam is, or that stalk where the stalk goes. So I think the next step is going to be to reinstall the turn signal stock with the cruise control setup here. And I won't do anything with the wire yet. First I will screw this in all the way so it doesn't twist the wire all up. Then I will have to carefully feed the wire through these holes, through this gap right here, through the column, underneath here, this little gap right there in the sleeve, that gap on the bottom, that's where they go. And I might wrap that up in tape, maybe. We'll see how it goes. I'll do that if I need to. So right now we're just going to screw this back in place. And I've got a crescent wrench to tighten that down. So I'll work on that. So fishing that wire through was a pain in the butt. I had to use a little tiny wire here, feed it up through here all the way inside, and then pull it through. And it was a tight fit, especially because I had some tape that I taped around the end of it to kind of protect it and get it through. So the rest of it should be easy. It's just a matter of putting it back inside this plug here, which is in my plastic bag, and then I can reconnect it to where it belongs. Almost done with this column. Alright, I'm sitting in the car getting ready to do a test drive, and that upper bearing, I don't know if you can hear that, but apparently that upper bearing should have been replaced too, not just the sleeve. I can hear it and feel it. So, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I don't think it's going to cause me any safety issues for a while, and that'll just get me to focus on maybe rebuilding that tilt column a little sooner than I wanted to or was planning on. But now the car is back together enough where I can finally take it for the first test drive, since I did all that work on the front end, on the suspension, the shocks, the ball joints, all that stuff. So finally going to give that a test to see how she rides, and hopefully I'll be pleased, and I'll see what I want to do after that. Now the steering wheel is not fully locked in place. I hope I didn't tighten it down too much. I'm going to be able to pull it back off and adjust it if I need to, because it's probably not lined up properly. So we'll see how that goes. Give her a start here. She's starting up real nice. I'm very pleased about all that. I'll let her run for a minute here, warm up. All right, we're out here driving now, doing my initial drive after all that work on the front end. Feels much, much tighter now, much tighter on the steering, which of course I would expect. No more noises. Wait a minute, maybe I better listen again. I don't think I heard any noise, but I better double check on this next speed hump. I've got the indicator on the second gear on this selector, because that should be allowing it to shift from first to second to third on this C666 transmission. She's staying in first right now. I have some adjusting to do there. I'm not really sure. But right now I'm focused on the suspension. I'm still hearing some looseness under there from something. That's very interesting. Sure hope I don't have a bad control arm bushing somewhere that I missed. It's quite possible. That's the only thing I didn't replace. Big improvement, though, in how tight the steering is. All right, we're moving along here. I'll make this turn. I was hoping to come to a stop here, but the light was green, so I couldn't. But she finally shifted into second after about getting to 25 or 30 miles an hour, so that's not quite right. So we'll see how she does a little bit higher speed here. I don't know if you can hear the wind noise coming from the right, but it's there. Oh boy, the alignment is definitely off. She's kind of wandering. I'm sure that's just alignment issues there. Not too worried about it. Plenty of power. Not sure she's shifting into third gear though. A little worried about that. Definitely gonna have to get that alignment done. I also managed to get the steering wheel straight across now, so I'll tighten that back down when I get home. All right, I'm sitting here at a red light. She seemed to do better after I started driving her a little bit more. Just had her up to 60. The transmission is shifting a lot better now than it was at first, so I'm happy about that. The only thing I'm kind of bummed about is the clunking I can still hear from the front end, so I guess I'll have to look into that further. I'm not going to drive it much more until I have the front end alignment done and the tires replaced, because right now I'm running on these old tires and I have no spare, so I'm going to go back home and wrap this up for the day. But I still feel like I got a lot done, and after I locked the steering wheel down with the retaining nut and everything, it seems to actually be doing better, so maybe that had something to do with how it was feeling to me. But overall, I'm pleased, so got to keep it going. Thank you.